Greetings everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Captain Rye, and today's YouTube video comes from Intervention K46. And Intervention is in his lovely Tier 9 premium battleship, the USS Missouri. The map is Neighbors. It's Domination Match Mode. Not that that's going to make any difference in the outcome of this game, at least not at the end. Now, as the battle gets underway, his team has decided that they're going to head over to the B and C cap points, which is not uncommon on this match. But what is surprising and a bit uncommon is that nobody on his team opted to go to the A cap point. On this map, people who spawn down on that side of the map usually find that the A cap point is closer to them than heading up to the C cap point. Intervention gets shots out here at a wonderful broadside cruiser and nearly deletes him outright as he manages to hit him for a couple of citadels and a nice sizable chunk of damage. That cruiser not gonna have a good time of it. As you can see, he is way overextended by himself, and he's got kind of no one to blame but himself for being so overextended. The enemy team manages to secure a first blood at the same time Intervention's team also secures a first blood, both teams losing a cruiser to enemy fire. Now the enemy team does manage to secure the A cap point, but again, that's mostly because, well, nobody on Intervention's team went to the A cap point, and it's actually a little surprising to see somebody on the enemy team on that side of the map go up there. They managed to lose yet another ship, but they also secure the C cap point, so at least on caps, both teams are reasonably equal, though it's important to note that the enemy team is contesting that. Intervention starts taking shots out here at this cheeky destroyer that's sitting in the B cap point. Now, that destroyer, very much so, caught himself, like that cruiser, out in the open, isolated with no backup, and for whatever reason opted to leave the safety of his smoke screen. But it's not like it would have mattered anyway, given that he was well within the radar range of Intervention's radar. And if Intervention had wanted to, he could have popped it and simply kept him highlighted for 30 seconds while his friendly destroyer dealt with that guy. The vast majority of the enemy team is up at the C cap point. And so far in this battle, while Intervention has done a reasonable amount of damage, he hasn't actually managed to secure a kill yet. Well, that just changed, as he manages to delete an enemy cruiser that comes around the side of that island. But he's got himself a wonderful number of targets to shoot at. Pops his radar here to see what's hiding behind these islands, and his radar manages to pick up the other enemy destroyer, the last enemy destroyer on that team. And as of now, the enemy team does not have a ships or a destroyer advantage, as they've lost even more ships, and Intervention manages to kill secure on a low health Miyoko by deleting him with, of course, a citadel. And that's Intervention's second kill. Now, Intervention is being targeted by a number of different ships, but he's in the Missouri, so he's got himself in a reasonable position where he's got an island protecting one of his sides, and he's got islands on the other side, but there aren't enemies pushing up. He does have allies back over there as well. Takes shots out there, that North Carolina, who manages to beach himself broadside on to a Missouri, and of course he punishes him for that by hitting him with a citadel. And that poor North Carolina, trying desperately to back off, is not going to have a good time of it as Intervention's shots hit him, but no citadels this time. They don't manage to kill him, which is actually really unfortunate considering how low health this guy is. So the real question is, who's going to get the kill? It's unfortunately not Intervention, and that would have been amazing if he had had the ability to secure that kill. If his secondary batteries had maybe just one hit or something, would have been pretty awesome, as we're going to see with the end of this game. Torpedoes coming in there, but they die just short of him, which is fortunate for him. Broadside on Hood, sailing, trying to head to the B cap point, which, by the way, the enemy team has managed to secure the B cap point. Intervention's team has only got the C cap point, but at this point they're up on points because they've managed to utterly wreck the enemy team. And I do mean that. The enemy team is down 6 ships, while Intervention's team is only down 3. And if that Hood doesn't get himself behind that island quickly enough, they're going to be down 7 ships. Manages to Citadel the Hood as he takes a big Citadel hit from the Iowa here, and secures yet another kill in this game. The secondary is blazing away, of course, and that's one of those things that people don't really realize with the secondaries on the Missouri and the Iowas. They are actually pretty reasonable because they have a high rate of fire, and at close range they can cause some serious problems. Speaking of close range, though, there is an enemy destroyer at point-blank range, and this is a serious threat as he manages to avoid those torpedoes, but he doesn't have any health left. If he gets hit by a couple of torpedoes, he's doomed. Hits that destroyer for a huge amount of damage, and that destroyer looks like he's literally going for the ram. What the hell? But ram denied, and he secures his Kraken Unleashed and a close quarters expert by taking out that destroyer with his secondary batteries. At that kind of range, your secondary batteries, even without manual secondaries, shouldn't miss. Enemy Kutuzov up there pops his smoke screen, slows way down to stop there, and Intervention manages to hit him. No citadels. But you'll notice that there are 3 enemy ships left in the game. Those 3 enemy ships are going to be a pretty important number, as his friendly destroyer manages to start capping. The enemy team has 3 ships left, while Intervention's team has only lost 3 ships at this point in the game. That is an incredible upset. Surprisingly, the only thing that really is keeping these guys in the game at all is the fact that they had 2 caps for as long as they did. Intervention pops his radar. That Kutuzov caught out in the open now because of that radar, and deleted. Broadside onto a battleship. That's gonna happen. Now, I don't feel bad for the Kutuzov because he did, or should have at least seen, that there was a Missouri closing in on him, and he should have been well aware that the Missouri has radar, and sitting in your smokescreen with a battleship closing in on you that has radar is only going to result in pain and suffering for you. At this point, Intervention has secured 6 kills in this game, and there are only 2 ships left. His team has managed to secure the B cap point, so there's pretty much no risk of them losing this battle at this point. They're so high up on points, and there are so few enemy ships left. But, of course, the remaining enemy ships are in better position as far as their health pools. And there are a few very, very low health ships on Intervention's team. However, given that the Iowa up here is broadside on to Intervention, and currently focused entirely on the ships that are in front of him, that's just going to let Intervention continue to smack him from the side. He also has to be careful that there is this Bismarck up here as well, and his repairability, though it's available, isn't going to repair too much more of his health, so he's pretty much stuck at less than half his available HP for the rest of the battle. Friendly destroyer is capping the A cap point, so now the enemy team is going to get no additional points at all, while Intervention's team is able to continue to rack up the points lead. That Iowa still reversing, still broadside on, and rightly so. Intervention takes shots out at him. Can he secure the kill? He does manage to secure yet another Citadel and his 7th kill. And now it's just the Bismarck left. The only thing left in the game on the enemy team. And that Bismarck's secondaries are blazing away. Now that Bismarck started this engagement with more health than Intervention, but he is broadside on, and Intervention just smacks him for a whopping amount of damage. But you'll notice that Intervention is keeping his bow at this Bismarck because he wants the Bismarck to shoot his belt armor just like that to avoid taking major hits. That Bismarck could cause serious problems. Now the question is, who's going to get the kill here? That Bismarck, very low health, secondaries blazing away, causing problems. It's going to be Intervention, securing his 8th kill in the game. 213,000 damage done. Look at that, 1.3 million credits earned. Earned himself a Confederate close quarters Kraken Unleashed devastating strike and high caliber with 8 kills and 8 citadels, incidentally enough. Wow, that was actually quite an impressive and quite a quick battle, if you can believe that. Top of the team for XP earned at 3,000 base XP. Congratulations, Intervention, for such an amazing replay. And thanks for sending it to me. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me in the channel, as well as gain access to some of my World of Warships replays early, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel with my wonderful commentary, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships, War Thunder, or other games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. I do a dedicated stream at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Time on Sundays for about an hour, hour and a half, but I'm also stepping up my streaming schedule by doing them at about 6 to 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday through Friday. And that's in the morning. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.